Okay, WoW Classic Season of Mastery coming soon. Greetings, adventurers. WoW Classic Season of Mastery is coming, giving all players a chance to start fresh and a level playing field. This time around, we're planning hashtag slightly more changes. We will launch new WoW Classic realms for Season of Mastery. These realms will invite new and current Classic players to begin fresh at level 1 for a complete reset of WoW's Classic content, starting again at the very beginning of the World of Warcraft saga. What's different in WoW's Classic Season of Mastery, you're wondering? As with the first release of WoW Classic, we're planning 6 content release phases. In WoW Classic Season of Mastery, however, phase unlocks will happen faster. We're planning for a 12-month cadence, with phases unlocking roughly every couple of months. Here's the current outline for these 6 phases. So phase 1, you get Molten Core, you get Onyxia, you get Meridon, you get the PvP honor system plus Battlegrounds. Phase 2 is when they do Dire Maul, Azuragos, and Kha'Zix. Phase 3, you get Blackwing Lair, Darkwing Bear, and the drops. Phase 4 is Zul'Gurub and Green Dragons. Phase 5, the AQ stuff. Phase 6, Nax, and the Scourge Invasion. Nothing new there, I don't think. The original release of WoW Classic was made to recreate the original. I whistled with my tongue. The original release of WoW Classic was made to recreate the difficulty and challenge of patch 112 from original World of Warcraft release. While we strive to bring a faithful recreation of that release, many raid encounters turned out to be easier than the first time around. Players simply were more experienced and prepared, and patch updates greatly increased player power. With that in mind, we're planning a few changes to make those early raid bosses pack a bit more of a punch and attempt to recapture the original challenge they presented. These changes currently include, but are not limited to, world buffs that are disabled in raid instances, restoring mechanics that were removed early on to some raid bosses, no boss debuff limits, which was up to 16 in WoW Classic, increased health on bosses to offset player buffs, and the removed debuff limit. Our intent with these changes is for this experience to feel somewhat more challenging than WoW Classic did in 2019. That's kind of cool. Due to Season of Mastery's faster content release cadence, we're also planning several improvements and changes. These include faster leveling. We're planning on increasing experience gains from what they were in the first iteration of WoW Classic. Our current plan is to set them close to what the 1 through 60 experience rates are in Burning Crusade Classic, with a bigger focus on quest XP increases. Oh, that's actually pretty smart, now that I think about that. Instead of like the hard grinding or whatnot through like dungeon content and stuff, people will be compelled to do questing, because I know that's what I did when I was leveling a lot of my characters through TBC. Quality of life updates. In addition, we're planning on introducing certain improvements that were not in the original WoW Classic release, but that we think we can help create a better experience, such as meeting stones converted into summoning stones, and increased mining and herbalism nodes. People will love that one. Realms tend to be more densely populated in WoW Classic compared to the original 2005 design. Increasing gathering node spawns should provide a more consistent economy this time around. WoW Classic Season of Mastery will have an open beta beginning on October 5th. Hella soon. Next freaking week. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these changes and many others as we continue to iterate on them. Keep an eye on the forums and yada yada yada. So that's pretty soon. And it's not like an alpha sort of deal. It's going straight into beta because, well, obviously a lot of this stuff is already in there. There are questions that I have, though, like how many realms are they going to do? If it's going to last for what they said was 1 year, what is going to happen? What's going to happen later? Like, are those realms eventually, will those realms eventually be converted into, thrown into like the classic era? Are all the characters going to be dumped there? Is it going to be an entirely separate thing? Are the realms going to be wiped? Or will they just languish there for people to just kind of sit? It's one of the things that I was hoping would have happened early on when they were talking about WoW Classic and kind of running parallels with Diablo 3 and Seasons, where you have like the non-season stuff, and you have all these characters that are there doing their thing or whatever. But then when the season starts, you make a new character, and in this case, in this whole season of Mastery, you get onto these certain realms, make a new character, have your jollies for about a year. But what happens afterwards? Like, are they going to be put into a are all these characters, or are these servers going to be just kind of shoved into a big non-season pool sort of server? I'm not sure. That might be a fun thing to check out, and I'll be interested to see in like the discussions among players as to how this is going to work. But this is cool. It's something that people have been asking for. The way that they're doing it so far, it seems pretty conservative with the number of changes that they're doing, but the changes themselves, they feel pretty impactful. Bosses are going to be a little bit harder. Leveling is going to be a little bit faster. Getting stuff is going to be a bit faster. But there are small concerns that I would have about if things are going to move faster, how is that going to affect things like honor gains and how quickly you get gear there? Is that going to be increased? Are drop rates going to be a little bit increased? Something like that. And then, and of course, what's going to get people to come back to the classic era of WoW? Are there going to be like leaderboards or things that resemble achievements? So that way people who, do participate in the season of Mastery, is there going to be something that lets them celebrate those accomplishments or to immortalize their accolades and things like that? Not sure. But I'm really interested to find out more.